Big shout out to Rory and Hazel at Paddy's Point, Lasagna, Spain, for the kind sponsorship once again this season of the podcast and the fanzine. Paddy's Point is the home of the same name, Paddy's Point Celtic Supporters Club, and they show all the matches there. So if you're in the Lasagna area in Spain, pop in. Great grub and entertainment 7 nights a week. And if you would like to sponsor an episode of the podcast, take an advert in the fanzine or some advertising on our website, give us an email at info@celticfanzine.com, and you can contact us across social media as well. Enjoy the podcast. Back to the Celtic Soul Podcast, as we have a football hangover. On Monday we had a hangover from celebrating, and this weekend we go into the Kilmarnock game with a big European hangover. I'm joined on the podcast by Joe Miller, average Joe Miller from Not The View once again. And just if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and you'll get the old opinion from us old Celtic dads and granddads, as I've been reminded. And also, if you want to know what we do, what we're about, visit celticfanzine.com. And it all started, like Joe, in the fanzine world 24 years ago when we started, more than 90 minutes. So you'll get all the info you need there. Joe, welcome back to the Celtic Soul Podcast. It's the weekend, but on Thursday night, we didn't have a great start in Midtjylland, against Midtjylland in Denmark.
Yeah, see, to be honest, about a month ago, I wasn't expecting anything from this game. And even with Martin O'Neill and Sean, etc., I still wasn't expecting anything from this game. I think some people were expecting too much. I didn't see us winning at all. I thought we could maybe push for a draw, but I think people's expectations were kind of blown up after the cup game and all the rest of it. Yeah, we should have done better. Yeah, we should have. I'm not giving Martin and Sean a pass, all the players a pass, but to be honest, I wasn't expecting it. I did think we were going to get beat, and proved to be so.
Yeah, the media were quick to talk up Martin O'Neill, and but they went long. He hadn't even got his new Adidas boots off in the dressing room, and they were already slating him and giving him a bit of stick. But before we get into last night's game, Joe, your blue shirt, you were, because of the win last week against the Rangers, you were happy to wear your blue shirt into town, into work on Monday. Did you enjoy the celebrations in McCool's?
Certainly did. The blue shirt, just a lot of people commented on it because there was the podcast as well, so that was good fun. It was funny, like, see when I was walking through the town, you could see people looking, going, why is he wearing blue? You know, it's like, because you usually can't hide yourself, and I'm just big smile on my face.
Well, you said we weren't expecting much. The highlight probably of the night was the Green Brigade's tiffle before the game. Fair play to them.
Very good.
A fair play to all the travelling fans again. I know Heinze and the boys were on the day trip, so a lot of money, a long trip, and but again, a lot of these boys that are going, travel to all the games, they kind of would be like yourself, Joe. They wouldn't have had huge expectations because you can't turn stuff around that quick. Martin O'Neill, he's a manager, not a magician.
Yeah. The thing is, look, we went into the Champions League qualifier unprepared. So we knew, even trying to qualify for the Champions League with the squad we've got, it ain't going to happen. It's just not got the players good enough. So what we're doing in the EUROPA now is, like, we've still got the same team, and a lot of the opponents, they aren't pushovers. They're building like that. That is a good team the other night. Last night we played against. Now, let's not take away from the fact that they're a good team. Well organised, fast, physical, everything we're not, basically. And as I said at the start, I wasn't expecting Martin O'Neill, Sean Maloney and that to turn this round quick. We've still got the board who went into this European campaign unprepared. We spoke about it the other night. Everybody's still speaking about this. The board shouldn't escape that result last night.
Yeah, but were you expecting those 8 minutes?
Seen a stat today about over the years about how many goals we've lost so quick. Two goals in 5 minutes, 2 goals in 6 minutes. And I think it was Moravcik guy on Moravcik 67. He put out a stat. It's unbelievable and it's frightening how many goals we lose quickly in European games. And okay, it doesn't even matter the standard of opposition. Some of them are great teams, but you still think these are basic things you should be able to defend and kind of shore up a bit. But we seem to be repeating ourselves over and over again, deleting goals very quickly, all in succession.
Yeah, after the first goal, I said to myself, "This is going to be a long night."
Yeah,
because they were, as you say, O'Neill had said before the game, they're a big, strong team, but they were physically bigger and stronger. And the lad out on the wing, on the right wing, young lad, I can't even think of his name. He was just, from word go, you were saying, Tierney's going to have a hard night out here. You know what I mean?
yeah, definitely.
And the defenders did have a tough night. And like, the media now, jumping on it, but like it's impossible to point the finger at Martin O'Neill. The problems are far from the dugout.
Yeah. I think domestically we can do it. I think it'd be easier doing it, but not in Europe. Just can't. We can't turn that round like a switch. Domestically, yeah, we can. We should be able to still win this league with the squad we've got, but nothing in Europe. I can't see us doing anything. As I said, it was kind of lost it before we kicked the ball in Europe with that.
Yeah, and even with like O'Neill came out after the match, and he was asked about, like he said, I don't know if it was after the match or today's press conference. He came out and he was asked about, and he said, Celtic need to rebuild. They don't have the strength and depth, but like every manager, has been quoted as saying this, that we don't have the strength and depth, and yeah. It just keeps repeating itself, Joe.
Yeah.
Martin O'Neill was probably the only one that had them at Desmond's ear and was able to run the club, run the team the way he wanted and bring the players in he wanted. And it just seems that he'll be moving on now. A new manager will be coming in and we'll be back to square one. We'll invest a few quid in January or we'll get in some half-decent loan signings. And then, we'll progress a bit and then we'll go back. And it just seems like it's just, it's disheartening, Joe, to think that, like, no one listens to the managers, it seems to be.
Yeah.
Or the football, like, we are a football club. And yeah, it's just, no, that doesn't fit the business model. Football, without football, there is no club.
Yeah, I know it's like after the kind of enjoyment of winning the semi-final, etc. Obviously, beating Falkirk as well is like, because that was a massive game still, and then getting the result in the cup semi-final against the Zombies, it was kind of like, yeah, that's good. That's where we want to be. I said domestically, that's fine. We need to move on domestically, but see, our footballing model for Europe, I think we touched on it last week as well. It's non-existent. It's a repeat going into European football, and you need to look at the opposition last night. Look at the way they've built their team and the structure they have and all that, and it just shows you it doesn't matter what size of ground you've got and support you've got. If you get it right, you get it right, and this is what really kind of disturbs me about the Celtic board. What they're looking at here, what's their blueprint if it thinks this is success? It's you need to win the league, you need to do this, you need to be successful domestically so you can go into Europe. But when we get into Europe, we just seem to go, let's stop there. Don't want to push on. We don't want to be a name in Europe. And it makes you angry. Because you think these guys are the custodians of our club, the businessmen, all in the corridors of power there, and they don't seem to see themselves getting it wrong.
Yeah, a year ago, Joe, we had probably our best win in Europe in a while when we beat Leipzig.
Yeah.
I was looking back at I think like had be 7 points at this stage last year after 4 games. We beat Leipzig. We'd one loss, one draw, and 2 wins. So we'd 7 points. Okay, we had Kyogo up front and Adamida. We had Kuhn on the bench. We Kuhn on the wing, right? Last night, Callum Osmond is now injured, so now we have, now we have Johnny Kenny as our only striker that's been playing. The Japanese boy will obviously come in now, back in because of injuries. He hasn't really, we haven't seen much of him. Then you have, a veteran of campaigns, James Forrest, in the position that Kuhn was, right? If you think back last year, Kuhn, up until Christmas, was the best player in Scotland.
Mhm.
And with the exception of the result in Dortmund, we were doing okay in Europe. But yeah, them players were sold. All three are gone, cashed in on, gone, and no replacements, right? And so now we're left, right, with a young lad that come up from the B team, Callum Osmond. He's out injured now as well. So it just like there is, O'Neill is right. There is no strength and depth. But if nobody, and I know bang on about this, but if no one's listening in the boardroom, they either need to go or start listening, because the Celtic collective, the Celtic fans collective, ain't going away. The fans have never been so organised, and things are going, things are going to go from bad to worse if we don't get basic steps right, and basic steps are having a strong squad to compete.
They've got a strong bank balance, but they've not got a strong squad.
Yeah.
And you wonder why. You just think, and it's not going to cost the earth to get players in. We're not asking to spend every single penny or just go stupid with it. But we need the squad there. And then even touching on Osmond coming in, the B squad coming in, the B team, what's happening there? We're spending a lot of money on coaches, young players, and we got beat the other week there against Clydebank, a local team next to where I stay. A few of the boys went to it and they said it was horrendous. And you're just thinking, that's not the way we should be. It's like you look at the B team's results and you're just going, where's the inspiration for these boys to get into the first team, and when they're out kicking the ball and they're just going, well, we don't even play with the first team. We're not part of it all. And so even that structure's not working.
Yeah, and the club don't seem to care about it because we haven't had a match report since last season.
Yeah.
So that's that's just like, that's
So if you've got young kids coming through and they're playing with Celtic, you're just thinking, where's the motivation for them here? It's just this B team structure isn't working. I'm not. The reserve thing used to be good because it would help. Let's say Alistair Johnson coming back, we threw him straight into the team. He would usually come in, play a few reserve games, get his fitness up, and back in. No, he came back into the team and then gets injured again. The benefit of all that as well is the young players are playing with experienced players, so then that rubs off. So there's a good mixture there, and that just seems to be lost. And I know there's not a reserve league, but Celtic should be putting forward ideas saying, look, this is what we need, because this B team structure isn't working. It's just non-existent for us.
But as long as there's a healthy bank balance, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Because really, Joe, the club are not really. It's more of a get a player in, develop them, sell them on. It's not really let's develop our B team into players that we can bring into the fourth team, because very few. You're in the dark, Joe. Very few come through, and even in Europe, Joe, like we dropped out of the Champions League, and we would have been hammered in anyway. Judging by some of the results and some of the teams that are in it. But the Europa League is no pushover either, and I watched I watched Roma last night strolled to a 2-0 win after the Celtic game. They strolled to a 2-0 win over the Rangers, and they've to come to Celtic Park as well in this.
Yeah,
And like it just like it didn't fill me with confidence. Now, don't get me wrong, I wanted them to lose, but it just Scottish football, outside Celtic as well, is not exactly kicking down any doors in Europe.
yeah,
Both Celtic and Rangers beaten last night, and Aberdeen got a draw in
yeah.
Cyprus. So yeah, look, we'll come back, I'm sure, Joe, over the weeks about European football, but it's back to the bread and butter. On Sunday, I'm not sure why the game is at 4 o'clock and not 3 o'clock, but it is. The other mobber on the TV. Um, we struggled a little against Kilmarnock earlier in the season. We were lucky. A late penalty gets us
Yeah.
the win. Now they're having a poor season and they're intense. So we should be able to kick on from our two domestic games, but it's like those 3 points are so important because Hearts 12 points ahead at the moment. I know they played a game more. Hibs play Saturday and Falkirk play Saturday, and if they win their games, both of them are 2 points behind Celtic. And if Rangers win away, they're away to Dundee United on Sunday, they'll be 2 points behind Celtic. So really, it's not only keeping up with Hearts, it's keeping ahead of the pack.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think we'll win on Sunday comfortably enough, to be honest. But it's going to be a hard slog, I think, to January, because come January we need to strengthen. No matter if it's Martin there or not, we need to strengthen because we know we're at the bare bones. Bare bones, and we need a better calibre of player in there. A few players, in fact. But I'm fine with that. I don't see much of an issue come Sunday. I really don't. Kilmarnock aren't that good. It's whether they put in a bank of players to stop us playing and we don't break them down and we start the tippy-tappy. Hopefully Martin and Sean will get on the team and cut that out. I don't mind the long passes, which we played a lot and got behind the Zombies in the cup game. I thought that was quite good that we did that because it stretched the game, pushed it up more. So I think we need more of that because that kind of suits the way we're playing. Because the passing, the 40 passes that Brendan liked in the possession just didn't work.
Yeah, so, team started to walk it out. Joe, Hearts, no midweek game. Hibs, no midweek game. So, like, there is a benefit for them. And, with the state of Scottish football, Hearts fans will be feeling confident. But, as you say, get to January and hopefully kick on from now. But off the field as well, Joe, we've an AGM coming up. And it's, you want certain questions raised. Will they be raised? We don't know. Or will it be the usual? Now, today,
did you see the trust?
I've just got it here, Joe, right? And it's telling me this came in from the Celtic Fan Collective today. It's come to our attention that shareholders have been blocked from proxying their votes to the Celtic Trust ahead of the upcoming AGM, which the club has claimed is due to a technical fault within the voting system. This issue has only affected those voting with the Celtic Trust. The timing of this is deeply troubling. The Celtic Trust has taken part in the AGMs for over 20 years without issue. Yet at the moment, when pressure on the board is at its highest and supporters are calling for real structural and strategic change, the voice of small shareholders is being obstructed. This issue raises serious questions about how the board views and treats supporters and small shareholders, and about the overall direction of the club. It is yet another example of poor governance and a failure to engage meaningfully with the support demonstrating clearly that change is needed at Celtic Football Club?
Well, as they said, I've never had that issue before, and all of a sudden, because the pressure's on, there's an issue. Now, and again, this is meant to be these guys in the board who are meant to be professionals, everything, saying they know how to run things, do things right, blah, blah, blah. There's another example. Is it a coincidence? I think a lot of people would say it isn't, that's happened. Even when they go to the board meeting, it's always, they'll all back each other. They've got the shares, they've got the power to do it, but you still need the voices there to at least put them under a bit of pressure, that they know that there's going to be people at the AGM speaking out against them. But I'm not surprised that's happened either. It just sums them up. It just sums the board up. You know, if you can't do your job right, you should be pulled up for it, and rightly so. A lot of fans are really angry about it, and the trust are angry that this has happened. It's a joke.
Yeah, and one thing they were able to do this week was release more new merchandise. So there was no glitch with that.
Yeah, no.
But
if it's money coming in, there's never a glitch.
These are important things, and you know, the trust do a lot of thankless work in trying to represent small shareholders, and indeed find lost shares for people. And I know now we have this Celtic Supporters Limited as well. I don't know a lot about it. I know David Lowe's involved in it.
Yeah.
So I might try to get him on the podcast so he can throw a bit of life for us onto, you know, what's that? Because for a time I had interviewed him. He was involved with the trust for a time. So
yeah, he was.
I don't know what the story is, but I presume that both groups would be aligning when it came to voting.
Oh, you'd think so. I like yourself. I don't really know much about what he's doing with that. So it might be a good idea to approach him and see what's happening.
Yeah. I think it might. With the international break now, it gives us a bit of time to, I suppose, catch breath and, you know, look at the wider things. O'Neill also said about, you know, the international break now. He said the players will have a short holiday, and it'll give them a chance to look at a few of the other players that remain, because with 2 games a week, like the coaching team, Maloney and the boys, they hadn't had any time really to walk with the team.
Yeah,
because it's, you know, it's been game Wednesday night, Sunday, Thursday night, and then this Sunday, and then that will give them a little bit of I suppose, you know, a time to pause maybe. But one thing, Joe, before I let you go, I know you're rocking it out tonight. I'm going to DJ myself, and I'm looking forward to a few points of Guinness, I have to say.
Oh, so am I.
Just one thing, right? Man O'Neill keeps being asked how long is he here for, or, you know, he doesn't he doesn't know. I think now the board need to show some leadership and give us an update on where they are. Yes, we're talking to clients or candidates. No, we're not talking to candidates. We will, but we foresee Sean and Martin being here till January, you know, but they won't, because, like, none of us know what's going on. You know, Man has said he won't have any say in who's coming in as manager, but surely someone has to have a say on who's coming in as players.
Exactly. That's the whole thing. I know January is important, and I just want to touch on as well when I talk about Hearts as well. January, they're supposedly going to strengthen as well come January. Now, if they do and they get the right players in, this is going to be a hard sketch then to pull back. Now, there's a lot of football still to be played. Hearts have still got to play Hibs and all that, so it can happen in the derbies. There's the lost points out away at St Mirren, but obviously we can do the same things as well and lose points. But this kind of thinking, they will just fall away and they're not got the squad. Not there is heavy talk that they're going to invest come January, so that's going to be a challenge for us. But as you said, we need to know: is it Martin and Sean going in to January, and even after January, we need to know. The board has to get this right. it is crucial we get it right. I can't see a manager coming in till January, if that. And that's the case. Well, they go, Martin and Sean are the boys that are going to take us to January, and then come January, we're going to have a new manager. But if they do say that and come out and say that, and they don't get the manager, then what the fuck are they doing? You know, it's like you just don't trust anything they do. That's the thing. It just sounds so haphazard the way they go about business. Certainly haphazard the way they go about signing. So again, probably in January, Hearts will probably get their players in, and we'll be going, that deal fell through, it's a hard time, and all the usual excuses that come out with them. So you're kind of hoping it's not going to happen, but that's in the back of my mind. That's what will happen.
Yeah, but like they surely they've been sounding at people. You know, surely they haven't just went, should we give him a run for a couple of weeks and see how it goes?
Oh, I know. The pressure's on them. They need to get it right. No, they just need to get it right.
And God knows what's going to come out in this AGM. You know, because they certainly like. I've never ever, you know, as bad and all as Lowell was communicating, he's done a few interviews.
Yeah.
But nobody even has heard Michael speak.
No.
You know, it's like, it's as if like I'm saying nothing.
Yeah. They're not going to vote themselves out. Let's be realistic on it. It's the AGM. They're going to pass each other, pat the back, you're doing well, and all the rest of it. Yeah, unanimous vote. You want the protest from the independent shareholders, the trust, etc. You want a voice to be heard and put a bit of pressure on them. But the only way we get change is keep protesting, because they do feel uneasy when it's at the ground and outside the ground and all that. They're squirming in their seats, you know. But at the AGM, they'll be happy enough. They'll pat each other in the back, they'll vote each other in, the usual stuff. That's what happens. So, but the pressure's on them because they need to get it right, and they're not been getting it right. So this is a big test for them.
Yeah, we all know that Dermot is running the show. He's made that. His last statement kind of made that, right? Do you think with the protests, you know, if they intensify, that he might just get pissed off and go, right, you have to go and you have to go, and I'm bringing in X, Y, and Z because you're not doing your job?
Yeah, because that's the way he operates. That's business. You know, he'll not want it directed at him.
Yeah,
and he'll look at it and go, right, how can I protect myself? Well, you, not myself. It'll be you, and I'll get him, and him, or her, and he'll protect yourself. That's what businessmen do. You know, that's why they still run companies and all that, because it's never their fault. It's always somebody else's, and they'll always have people that can move about.
Joe, it's been interesting to talk to you. There's more questions than there is answers as a Celtic fan, as a Celtic fan these days. But as always, enjoyed the chat. Joe, enjoy your weekend. Hopefully we get maximum points, 3 points against KILLIE. You expect we do. I expect us to do the same. I don't think I'll meet you for a point either. I don't think I get in because I think I'm in and out fairly sharpish as well. I'm in and out of Edinburgh for the game. So I'm sure I'll meet someone along the way, but to have a point or two. Thank you very much, Joe.
Enjoy your DJing tonight, mate. I'm off to see His Lordship.
Where's that on?
Ivory Blacks.
Right. Well, if you're watching this on YouTube or you're listening on the audio podcast, that gig is over.
A pleasure, mate.
Good luck, pal.